Do you sometimes need to make a quick card on the fly? Are there times when you've lost your crafty mojo and need a pick-me-up? Stop overthinking it and make some quick and easy backgrounds to have on hand when you need a quick card, or take a few minutes of crafty time to get your mojo back.
Welcome friends, it's Rae. Thank you so much for joining me today.
In today's video, I'm making 3 crafty fun backgrounds.
Let's talk crafty. I'm going to use 3 Distress Oxide colors for my backgrounds: Salvaged Patina, Evergreen Bough, and Uncharted Mariner. And I'm going to use this heavy paintbrush. It is, or large paintbrush. It's a size 14. And it has a point, and I'm going to be using that point to make some thin lines along with some large lines. I'm also going to use some Canson XL watercolor paper for all of my panels. Okay, so we're going to add some Uncharted Mariner. Okay, lots of that. And then some Evergreen Bough over here to the side. Just 2 of those. Okay, then I'm going to spritz with water and come here and mix those together. Oh, that's it. Okay, and so I'm loading up my brush and we'll just make a stripe. And I'm just eyeballing this, but what? About 4 stripes. Okay, I like that. And so that it's an odd number, I am gonna come in, kind of making my brush pointed on purpose here, and I think this may be the area that has, say, the largest gap. Okay, just bringing in a thin line and a thin line, and this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm using the very tip of my brush to make these thin lines. This is just organic. And then I'll put a line down there. Okay, I like that. It's organic. It's not perfect, but it is an easy background. So we'll set this aside to dry. And once my first layer dries, I am just putting some water in my hand and flicking it on my panel to add some water splatter, and then bringing in a paper towel to just blot up some of that excess water without rubbing my panel. Okay, if you haven't seen this on the internet yet, Natalie from NB Cards here on YouTube made an ink smusher that I think is brilliant. And so what you do is you get like a gallon-sized freezer bag. You can make smaller ones, but this is a standard one. So gallon-sized freezer bag, fold it in half. Then you come in and fold it again. So fold it in quarters. Doesn't have to be perfect, but then what you want to do is cut a circle or an arc, and you're going to be cutting off this top part as you do that, and the sides. All right, and then what you do is, actually I think I want to use the piece without the writing, no particular reason. Okay, I have my 3 paper towels, and they are not heavy duty. just scrunching up 2 of these and taping them. Okay, and then I'm going to take this 3rd one and roll and scrunch. Really just roll that all together and tape it. Okay, hopefully this ball isn't too thick. It's a little thick. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is actually gather, place my paper towel inside, and then gather up all the edges, and then apply some tape to hold all of that together. So around the handle, applying tape. Okay, and I'm going to reinforce that. I don't want it to come apart. I was thinking I could use a rubber band on here too, but I don't have one handy.
I'm going to use this residual leftover ink that's on my mat and add water to it, and then just place my ink smusher in and apply it to my card base. Or my background panel, and then when I'm done I can just spritz water on it, clean it, and it's ready for the next use. I love this. I have so much more control when I use it. I've let my first layer dry, and now I'm bringing in my evergreen bough and placing that on my mat, adding some water, and then I'll smush that onto my panel, and this is beautiful. So even though these colors don't make mud when they mix, having the panel dry just lets you create multiple layers of texture. My 3rd background technique is ink blending. I am coming in with salvage patina and start it off of my mat so that I don't get any harsh lines, and then I'm going to come in with my evergreen bough and do the same. Add that color in the middle, and then come back in with my salvage patina again to blend out those 2 colors. And just with the ink, I'm not adding any additional ink to my brush, but I'm just coming in with the ink that's either on my mat or already on my brush to blend those in. Then I bring in my Uncharted Mariner and get a harsh spot there, but I'm going to cover that up and keep moving, and you'll see how I blend that out in the end. So after my Uncharted Mariner, I'm going to bring my evergreen bough back in, again using just what's on the brush to blend out those last 2 colors. And as I'm doing the voiceover, I forgot to use, I usually use just a piece of Post-it note paper and place the sticky side on my fingers and then place it down over my panel as I'm blending so that I don't get my fingerprints on my design. Do you love color mixing? Let me know in the comments if you have any good pointers on how you mix your colors. Use hashtag RTQ. When you're color mixing, here's a surefire way to avoid getting mud. Use your colors in rainbow order. I actually have my inks indexed in rainbow colors on my shelves. So rainbow color being Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So I have them in this order, and then I use them in this order in most cases when I want to mix colors. So if you mix a red with an orange, you're not going to get mud. If you mix an orange with a yellow, you're not going to get mud. If you mix a yellow with a green, or a green with a blue, or an indigo with a violet, you're not going to get mud. And you can throw pink in there in between red and orange on the rainbow in rainbow order. So that's just a quick tip. You can also use a color wheel, of course. Now let's case a card. This card is by Nancy Elric, and she posted this card on Instagram. It's a beaut, and it just gave me so much inspiration. We're also going to use the Limes technique by Ardith. I will link to both their videos in the description bar below. With the Limes technique, we're going to make a list of the elements Nancy used in her card. She used a large floral spray with lots of color. It has small florals, but she heat embossed it in gold. She used soft blue card strips and white strips to make her background, and then she used a birthday sentiment. Okay, so then we want to look at what we might include in our card as we case it. And then we want to modify it. We want to exclude some things, and then we want to put our own spin on it. So as I go through and create my card, I will talk through the Limes technique. Let's list the elements Nancy used in her card. She used a large floral spray with lots of small florals, lots of color, and she heat embossed it in gold and then die cut it out. For her background, she used soft blue strips, card strips, and white strips to make her background. She made it very soft. Love that. Then she used a birthday sentiment. Alright, so as I construct my card here on camera, you will see how I modify, exclude, and put my own spin on this card. So in terms of modifying, I'm going to use a large floral spray, but I'm going to use fewer colors. And the flower petals on my spray are much larger than those on Nancy's. I do use a soft blue-green black background that we made in this video, and it has the wide stripes, and I did also use an embossing folder called Wide Stripes by Pink and Main. I think that's the name of it. I will list that in my description over on my blog. Okay, and so then I used a small birthday sentiment. I added a butterfly that I heat embossed, and I added some sequins to embellish, and then I added a black mat to leave about 1/8 of an inch small border. Here's what I excluded. My floral spray only has a few colors versus lots of colors. I did not use cardstock strips for my background, and instead of using a large birthday sentiment, I replaced it with a small sentiment. And as I wrap up the card construction, you will see how I put my own spin on this. You can certainly when you're casing a card, you can certainly copy the card as it is, but if you do, you definitely want to give credit to the creator, to that person, if you do it in that way. So let's take a final look at this card, and you can see my spin. How do you think I did casing Nancy's card? What do you think of this cool technique, Limes technique by Ardith? Let me know in the comments. Look at that texture that the dry embossed stripes creates. I will save my other background panels for future cards. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video and will consider subscribing if not already a subscriber. Until next time, good day, friends.